Atama Punjabi Hari Gopi Chanababa Giri Bharatari Yasoranandana Rajajanaranjana Chamunatira Banachari Jaradhamad Hava Punjabi Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna. Dear
Hare
devotees, please join us in warmly welcoming Her Grace Narayani Devi Dasi to the Vaishnava Ministry North America platform. And we are deeply grateful to her for taking the time to enlighten us with her wisdom and realizations on Srimad Bhagavatam. And to introduce her properly, I now invite Sarvamangala Devidasi. Prabhu, please share her inspiring biography.
Thank you so much. So Hare Krishna, dear Vaishnavis. Welcome to all of you for joining our Zoom session today. Before I introduce our special guest, I would like to mention that if you can just keep your mics muted, and if you have any questions, once again, we are very honored to have her with us. She has been a great inspiration for me, for sure. The more I listen to Her Grace Narayani Prabhu, the more I just get so inspired by her devotion. So did a bit information on Narayani Prabhu. She's a disciple of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. She joined the movement in 1970 in Boston, and since then she has made her life and soul to study Shastra and to share this knowledge by following her guru's mood. She, which was also Srila Prabhupada's life and soul, to share this knowledge with others. Excuse me. Narayani Prabhu got her initiation by Srila Prabhupada in 1971 by mail in Florida. That's when she also got her written instructions as well. She met Srila Prabhupada in person in 1972. She has provided many services for Srila Prabhupada, including serving as a pujari in Calcutta ISKCON Temple and Vrindavan, traveling to distribute Srila Prabhupada's books in Western India for the Bombay Temple, and teaching Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vibhava, and Bhakti Vedanta courses in the Vaishnava Institute for Higher Education in Vrindavan, India. In Mayapur, she did a lot of typing for Chaitanya Charitamrita Adilila, chapter 13 to 17, as per her guru's order. Prabhu was born and raised in Chicago, studied in Evanston University, north of Chicago. Right now, she resides in Vrindavan, India, been there for over 50 years. In Vrindavan, she speaks about Bhagavatam and writes books in Mayapur. She's also an artist and has a book series called At a Glance, Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, and every verse is in a picture. I have heard great reviews about these books, so please get a hold of these books and buy them. She has written 21 books. She also travels annually on a preaching and teaching tour, visiting Australia, New Zealand, Denmark, Germany, and the US. I would also like to add that Prabhu is a Shastri Advisory Committee member. She is an initiative guru for giving initiation. She has initiated disciples, but at the moment she's on pause till November of this year, 2025. You can follow Narayani Prabhu on her website called narayanidesi.net. I shall share the link in the chat. As a very dedicated devotee, she has been simply following the instructions from her guru. So today, Prabhu will speak about counteracting the threefold miseries, Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 15, Text 24. So once again, please keep your mics on mute. And if you have any questions, I would kindly ask to type them in the chat. So Narayani Prabhu, please accept our humble obeisances to your lotus feet. Welcome. Thank you again for joining us again.
Okay, thank you, Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from 7th Canto, Chapter 15, verse 24. Kripaya Buddhijam Dukam Daivam Jaya Samahina Atmajam Yogvyena Nitaram Safanise Vaya. Translation: by good behavior and freedom from envy, one should counteract sufferings due to other living entities. By meditation and trance, one should counteract sufferings due to providence. And by practicing Hatha Yoga, Pranayama, and so forth, one should counteract sufferings due to the body and mind. Similarly, by developing a mode of goodness, especially regard to eating, one should conquer sleep. Purport. By practice, one should avoid eating in such a way that other living entities will be disturbed and suffer. Since I suffer when pinched or killed by others, I should not attempt to pinch or kill any other living entity. People do not know that because of killing innocent animals, they themselves will have to suffer severe reactions from material nature. Any country where people indulge in unnecessary killing of animals will have to suffer from wars and pestilence imposed by material nature. Comparing one's own suffering to suffering of others, therefore, one should be kind to all living entities. One cannot avoid the sufferings inflicted by providence, and therefore, when suffering comes, one should fully absorb oneself in chanting Hare Krishna mantra. One can avoid sufferings from the body and mind by practicing mystic Hatha Yoga. Mukam karali vachalam panganangate girim yakimantaham vande Shri Guru Niratharinam Om Gyana Timirandasya Gyananja Shalakaya Chakshu Aminitam Yena Tasawat Shri Gurave Namaha. So in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 56, there is a similar verse which says, one who is not disturbed in spite of the threefold miseries. So we just heard about threefold miseries. Who is not elated when there's happiness, who is free from attachment, fear, and anger, is called a sage of steady mind. So in the purport, Prabhupada says, such a fully Krishna conscious person is not at all disturbed by the onslaughts of the threefold miseries, for he accepts all miseries as the mercy of the Lord, thinking himself only worthy of more trouble due to his past misdeeds, and he sees that his miseries, by the grace of the Lord, are minimized to the lowest. So this is the attitude of the devotee when miseries come. He thinks, okay, no, that is mercy. He just, instead of miseries, it's mercy. He sees it as mercy. Everything is Krishna's mercy. So he sees this as the mercy of Krishna. And one who is a non-devotee, if miseries come, he will say, why me? Why is this happening to me? I'm a good person. I take care of my family. I work hard and I'm honest. So why this is happening to me? I'm a good person. I'm a pious man or lady. But a devotee sees differently. So His Holiness Bhakti Maharaj used to ask a question. Have you ever felt like if, some problem comes or misery and you think, why did this happen to me? We might think like that sometimes, or we might question. We might even doubt Krishna sometimes. Or how many times have we seen somebody else suffering and think, wow, thank you, Krishna. I'm so glad it's not me. Just like in India, I live in India, and we see all these people. You don't see it here in America, but people with one leg, one hand, with leprosy, and they're all begging for money. And so sometimes, you think, wow, it could be worse. At least I have two legs, I can walk. And then the third question the Maharaj was asked, and you see somebody suffering, and you think, why not me? Why not me? So that was Srila Prabhupada. When he would go on his morning walks in the morning early, he would see people rushing off to work, and he would cry for them. Tears were in his eyes at how they're working so hard. And I saw in India, evening time, one time, about this time of night, I mean here, 7:30 at night, a bus full of children, maybe 10 years old, 8 to 10, and they were stuck in a huge traffic jam in Bombay. And I thought, wow, they start so young, uh, learning how to go to work and come back. And the trains in Bombay, they're stuffed with people and very hard to get out uh, of the train when it's your stop. So yes, if people are suffering, I saw the pure devotee, he thinks, why not me? And Prabhupada says, similarly, when he is happy, he gives credit to the Lord, thinking himself unworthy of the happiness. He realizes that it is due only to the Lord's grace that he is in such a comfortable condition and able to render better service to the Lord. Yeah, so he is a devotee. When he's happy, he thinks, oh, this is really Krishna's mercy. I don't really deserve it, but he is giving me opportunities to serve him better. I think like Ambarish, he's an example who's building the temple, TOVP in Mayapur. He got a lot of money in his family and he's using it for Krishna. And so he's a good example. So sometimes, but we know the philosophy, it comes and we know, okay, I'm not this body, and it's good to try to control the senses, but sometimes it's hard to realize it, put it in practice. So when Shivikam was asking Prabhupada that, I feel my body affected by the modes of nature. I'm experiencing desires. Prabhupada said, no, you are not experiencing. Your body is experiencing. You're feeling cold due to this body, but you are not feeling cold. The body is. But I think I'm feeling cold. And Prabhupada said, yes, you're thinking that is illusion. But so I have to rise above that, devotee said. And Prabhupada said, yes, but not artificially. But yes, you have to rise. Just like when you have a fever, you're in a feverish condition, but actually you're a healthy person. But now you're thinking, oh, I got fever like myself. Now I have cold. Oh, terrible. But this will not stay. This will not stay. Actually, you're healthy, and this has come. We will come back. We will again become healthy. So don't be disturbed with the fever. Go on with your duty. And this is the verse in Gita, Matra Sparshas Konteya, Shitoshnas Kadukadaha. It's like the change of the seasons. Sometimes very hot, sometimes very cold, sometimes warm, coming and going. And you have to tolerate. Like here in Florida, it's described, it was very cold this morning. It was like 43. So nighttime and early morning is winter. And then after that, later morning, like around 12 noon, it's spring temperatures. And then now it's summer, it's 80 degrees. And then and then fall will be after sunset. And then it gets freezing again. And so we have all the seasons here in Florida in one day. And Ireland too. Now you can have rain for 15 minutes and then sun for 15 minutes. And so yeah, it comes and goes. So we have to tolerate. And this verse in Bhagavatam is explaining how we can counteract these threefold miseries. Adi Bhautik, Adi Daivik, Adi Atmik. So Adi Bhautik, we have miseries from other people, other living entities, by good behavior and freedom from envy. We have miseries from Adi Daivik, the demigods, providence, the weather, like tornadoes, I think they had recently. And now there's fires in the Florida Keys. There's fires, forest fires, and flooding. So these are all due to the demigods or providence. And we counteract that by meditation and trance. Of course, our meditation is chanting Hare Krishna. And miseries due to the body and mind that we can counteract by Hatha yoga and pranayama. Can you believe it? Of course, our pranayama is different from the usual pranayama that other yogis practice. So let's do one at a time. Adidaivic, that is due to the weather and outside influences. So in 2013, there was a huge avalanche in Kedarnath, which is a place of Lord Shiva in the Himalayas. And there was the temple was there. Temple was protected because one huge rock fell in back of the temple was safe. But on both sides, the restaurants, the roads, the guest houses were all destroyed. So there was one yogi. He was standing in front of the temple, just meditating on the deity of Lord Shiva. He didn't notice the avalanche. He didn't notice anything. Because he was in trance, in meditation. So I was watching it, of course, on Facebook, uh, and the government was sending helicopters to evacuate everyone. So finally, it came the yogi's turn. They said, "Okay, Babaji, you can go in the helicopter." He said, "No, I don't need helicopter. I will walk." Of course, the roads were finished, so how he's going to walk, we don't know. He might have mystic powers. But yeah, he wasn't disturbed by these seeming calamity. The meditation and trance. And also as devotees, we can become free from these calamities, meditation and trance. There's one devotee who is president of Stockholm Temple in Sweden. Before he was a devotee, he was living in Norway, a very far north country. And in the winter, it's dark and cold. The sun sets in October and it rises in February. It's like crazy cold, dark and cold, strong winds, rain, snow. So he used to suffer very much from this weather and everything in Norway. But after he became a devotee, they sent him back to Norway to distribute books. So, but when he was distributing books, he didn't feel the suffer. He wasn't suffering. He felt so happy. He was meditating on Prabhupada and distributing Prabhupada's books. So he was very happy. So here's an example of how a devotee can also get that stage of meditation and trance. So now adibhotic is problems due to other beings. You can counteract by good behavior and freedom from envy. So what is good behavior? It means if somebody is senior to you, then you can help, you can serve them and try not to bring them down, be envious. If someone is your equal, you can be friends, don't compete. And if someone is your junior, you can try be compassionate and try to help bring them up. So when Srila Prabhupada went to Japan to the book printer, and he was meeting one of the junior executives of the company. So so Prabhupada asked the junior executive, "What is your goal in life?" The executive brought out a stack of calling cards, and so then he took the calling cards. This means all the executives. So his was on the bottom. He took it from the bottom, put it on the top. That is my goal of life. I want to be the top man. So that's the nature of this material world. Everyone wants to be the top man. And so that means you have to bring somebody else down if you go up there. And so, of course, there is no utopia here, even in ISKCON. Sometimes devotees would complain to Prabhupada, oh, devotees are such impersonalists. And Prabhupada said, we should not expect there's utopia even in Krishna consciousness. There will always be some lacking, but the difference is that the lacking, because they have given up everything to serve Krishna, money, jobs, reputation, wealth, big education, their lackings have become transcendental. Because despite everything they may do, their intention is to serve Krishna. And yes, so we did have that intention, but sometimes our behavior was not up to par. And so that's why we need to study Bhagavatam to see how to behave properly. So when we were in Juhu, Bombay, India, it was very austere conditions. The day I arrived in Juhu, Bombay, I was sitting for breakfast, and the men were living in a hut, and this hut was the prasana room, men's ashram, kitchen, everything. So I was sitting down for breakfast, and I was seeing all these huge rats running across the rafters of the hut. And I thought, oh my, I hope he doesn't fall on my plate. And the rat fell in somebody else's plate. So, but it was very austere conditions. The ladies' ashram was on the roof of a building, and it was summer. Men had a roof. They were in a hut, and we had nothing. Yeah, except the sun over our heads and the stars. So one doctor used to walk on Jew Beach with Srila Prabhupada, and he had a kind of impersonalist view of Bhagavad Gita. He knew a lot of verses, but his vision was very impersonal. So, but he was a very compassionate person, and he saw how the devotees were suffering, and he went out begging to the market, and he got mattresses, pillows, blankets, mosquito nets, everything donated to the devotees. But then what happened was it all got stolen within 2 years because we didn't have any doors we were just living outside. So he complained to Prabhupada, all these devotees, they don't take care of their health, they don't take care of their things. So Prabhupada said, these devotees do not care if they have to sleep on the floor. And I slept on the floor for 18 years in India, on a mat, just a straw mat. They do not care if they get disease or don't have proper facilities. That liberation you so much desire, they already have. Prabhupada said we were liberated. Of course, we didn't feel like it, but we were young. And so it was exciting. It was an adventure coming to India. But yes, we have to have proper behavior, and then we can counteract the sufferings of due to other living entities. So the third misery is adhyatmic, due to body and mind. Hatha yoga and pranayama are given. Then Srila Prabhupada says, as far as pranayama is concerned, chanting of the holy name of the Lord, dancing in ecstasy are also considered pranayama. Right. And so His Holiness Indradona Maharaj was on an airplane in Africa, and every time the plane would come down for landing and shake violently, and they had to abort the landing because of the huge winds. So when that happened, Maharaj was going, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. And the Christians were going, Jesus. And the Muslims were going, Allah. And the plane went back up. And then there was a man sitting next to Maharaj. He said, Swamiji, I don't believe in all this chanting. Plane went down again, started shaking violently. The man, because the man said, I'm a scientist, I don't believe. So then it started shaking and went back up. And then the scientist said to Mirage, what was that you're saying? Hare Krishna. No, no, the whole thing, tell me. So he learned how to chant. Pilot made an announcement, we're going to try one more time. If we fail, we'll go back to where we came from. So the plane went down, started shaking, and everyone was chanting. And the plane landed safely. Scientists was chanting too. So Maharaj said to the scientist, now, do you believe? And the scientist said, maybe. And Maharaj said, okay, here's my card if you have any questions. And then you can ask me. So then another example was in Nepal, we do a ladies' retreat a Vaishnavi retreat every year. Last year, 300 ladies came. And a few years ago, it was 150 ladies. And the last day of the retreat, they start at 7:30 at night, and they just chant and dance. And they love it. In Nepal, they're the best dancers. They can play mridanga like anything. And they really get into it, and they forget everything. So at 7:30, they started, and there was one Gujarati lady, and she went to the Nepali dancers, and she said, no, it's time for prasadam. And nobody paid attention. They were just in ecstasy. So she tried again at 8:30. It's really 8:30, it's late. Nobody paid attention. They kept chanting and dancing. And then she tried one more time at 9:30. Oh, I'm really hungry. Please, please, prasadam. Nobody paid attention. So then the Gujarati lady started chanting and dancing, and she forgot also about eating. So yeah, if you're engaged chanting and dancing, then you can forget the miseries of the body. Now, Bhagavad Gita, yeah, here it is, also talks about this in the 6th chapter about yoga chapter. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, yeah, it's verse 17. Okay. I think I need my glasses for this. I forgot my glasses. He who is regulated in his habits of eating, sleeping, working, and recreation can mitigate all material pains by practicing the yoga system. So that's what this verse is talking about, how you can go free from miseries by practicing yoga. And of course, part of that practice is regulation. Now, this regulation is in the mode of goodness. If you're in the mode of goodness, then you can regulate your eating, sleeping, working, and recreation. And even if you're not, you should still try to do it. And then you'll be free from miseries. You'll be free from miseries. Eating, sleeping, working, and recreation. So one time, Srila Prabhupada was giving a lecture on this verse, I think in Los Angeles. And after the lecture, one 8-year-old Gurukuli boy raised his hand. He said, Prabhupada, you said we should not eat too much or eat too little. And Prabhupada said, no, for you, free pass. You can eat as much as you like. He said, if you're young, you have a free pass to eat as much as you want. Overeating is a good mistake. And if you're old like me, undereating is a good mistake. So then the Gurukuli said to Prabhupada, what about Tamal Krishna Maharaj? Can he? And Prabhupada said, no, he cannot. So yeah, Gurukulis are too smart sometimes. So yeah, we need to regulate these things. There's 3 causes of disease according to Srila Prabhupada: overeating, anxiety, and uncleanliness. And so if you get sick, it could be one of these 3. So the devotee, there's attitude of devotee is described in Srimad Bhagavatam prayers of Lord Brahma in Canto 10, Chapter 14, verse 8. Tenu kampam samikshamanam. First of all, we should hope against hope that we will get Krishna's mercy. So when the mercy comes, then we should not complain, We should look for it, though. We should actually search every day. How is Krishna's mercy coming to me today? So then next thing is Bhujana Ivatma Kritam Vipakam. We need to tolerate the reactions to our past mistakes. So first, hope against hope. Second, tolerate. And third, serve with body, mind, and words. You keep doing your service, although sometimes you're getting your karma, you're getting sinful, you're getting reactions, or you might you're getting mercy of Krishna, maybe like a thunderbolt, sometimes like a rose also. And if you do these three things, you hope, you tolerate, and you serve, Jiveta Yamukti Pare Stayaba, you will inherit the kingdom of God. You will go back to Godhead. So yes, this is our movement. This is what we are doing here in Krishna consciousness. Now, one devotee, he asked Prabhupada, he says, I'm confused because throughout your books and in your lectures, you say, when you become a devotee, you're on the transcendental platform. But at the same time, you talk about being affected by the most material nature. I'm a devotee, I'm practicing the principles, devotional service, experience a certain amount of happiness, transcendental pleasure. At the same time, I feel affected by the modes, material nature. How is it I can be on the transcendental platform and still be affected? So Srila Prabhupada answered, it's just like being on a boat. When you're on the boat, no one can say, you're not on the boat. You're on the boat. But sometimes big waves will come and rock that boat, so your position may not be steady. Those waves are the modes of material nature, and the boat is the transcendental platform. You're on the transcendental platform, but sometimes the waves of material nature rock the boat, and your position is not steady. So how to become steady? You learn from the captain of the boat, spiritual master, how to steer the boat. And if you learn expertly, your position will be steady, even in the greatest storm. So, yes, even when the modes are hitting us, we can be steady. So this verse is helping us to understand how to live in this world and how to counteract the threefold miseries. Now, I would like to share with you one prayer from His Holiness Sachidananda Swami when difficulties come. He says, My Lord, I cannot solve this alone. It is beyond my capabilities, intelligence, plans, ideas, etc. So, I sincerely request you to accept me as your surrendered soul and protect and maintain me. Protect me means keep me in a situation where I can function and the problems of material existence don't upset my life that much. And maintain me means maintain me on the spiritual platform. If you do the simple step, a very interesting thing happens. Mara says, the problem which looks so big, like, oh, now my life is finished, will start to shrink until it is the size hoofprint of a calf, which you can easily step over. So there's some advice from Maharaj. We can try that next time we're having trouble. So I'll stop now if there's any questions or comments. You can ask at this
Hare
point.
Krishna Prabhu. Yes, actually have a couple of questions that we have received. First one, how does the concept of suffering in the text relate to the way we treat other living entities? And why is compassion important in this concept, in this context?
Well, Shri Prabhupada did say that if we, his example in the purport was if we kill animals, then we will be killed. We will have war. So that is happening. We see wars happening in this world. People are slaughtering the animals and we must have compassion on the animals. They're innocent creatures. They're like our children. And so we should not kill them just for our taste of the tongue. That's compassion. That's what Prabhupada was emphasizing in the purport, that we should be kind to the animals. And yeah, so that would be my answer for that question.
Thank you. The next question is, what happens? Oops. What happens if we are not perfect devotees when we leave our bodies in this life? How do we know we are making progress?
What happens when, okay, if we're not perfect devotees? Well, you're making progress if the obstacles are reducing, and if you're not affected by happiness and distress, you can know you're making progress. Something difficult comes and it doesn't disturb you, so you're not affected so much. That's how you'll know. And at the end of life, we're very fortunate we have the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, that he will recommend us to Krishna. He has also said it's important to come to the level of Nishta, Nashta Presha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. By serving the Bhagavat, book Bhagavat, devotee Bhagavat, then we can come to the level of Nishta, and almost all of our bad qualities will be finished. Again, that's the mode of goodness, where passion and ignorance may be there to some extent, but they're under control. You're a balanced person. And if you can, of course, everyone will meet Srila Prabhupada at the time of death, and he will see the good things, what service you did, and he'll give you another service, whether this world or the next. So, and you can know if you're advancing, if you're becoming detached from sense gratification, attached to the things that remind you of Krishna. If you have, do you finish your rounds before you touch the social media every day? And if you have a choice, is it social media or is it chanting or reading Prabhupada's books? So if you're getting advanced, then the choice will be spiritual. That's how you know you're becoming advanced.
Beautiful.
Yeah, Narayani Dasi, there's a thing, NarayaniDasi.net. Yes, not Dasi.
Okay. And Dushyana Prabhu is asking if you could please share the prayer from Sachidananda Swami again.
Okay. My Lord, I cannot solve this alone. It is beyond my capabilities, intelligence, plans, ideas, etc. I sincerely request you to accept me as your surrendered soul and protect and maintain me. Protect me means keep me in a situation where I can function and the problems of material existence don't upset my life that much. So that's kind of, that would be helpful. Protection. And maintain me means maintain me on the spiritual platform. So that's the prayer. So you can try it out. There is another short prayer, which I learned from my god sister Sukavaha, and that is, when difficulties come, first thing you say is, nothing is wrong. Then you say, Krishna is in perfect control. And then you say, my Lord, what do you want me to learn from this? So that's another prayer. We're in the school of life, and it's all for learning. And by taking a risk for Krishna, we can increase our faith. That's important too. His Holiness Satyananda Swami also says there are three things that can help you advance. First of all, improve the quality of your sadhana. Secondly, pray for bhakti with taste. And thirdly, take a risk for Krishna. Distribute a book, tell someone to chant, and do something like that, which is out of your comfort zone. Do that. Take a risk for Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. We have another question. Mataji is asking, we often read in the scriptures about remaining undisturbed. in all situations. But when faced with real life changes, I struggle to apply it. How can I make progress?
Okay, yeah, there is one exercise you can do which will help you to when difficulties come. You write down 10 reasons why you thank Krishna for having this come to you. So, for example, thank you, Krishna, for breaking my computer because now I won't forget how to write with a pen. Thank you, Krishna, for breaking my computer because now my brain will get more exercise. Thank you, Krishna, for breaking my computer. Now I will be out in nature more. Of course, this can go for the cell phone now. It used to be computers or everything. Now it's cell phones. uh, uh, Thank you for breaking my computer because now I'll get a new computer. So what if you see you're telling reasons why you're thanking Krishna and giving reasons why you're thanking Krishna for this to happen. And one thing that happens after you write the 10 reasons, this person whose computer broke, his computer started working. Because what happens when you're positive, you attract positive energy. If you're just thinking, oh, my life's finished, oh, now what am I going to do? You're attracting negative energy to you. If you do this exercise, a lot of devotees did it, and they do find it helpful when they're faced with difficulties. Yeah, I could tell you more stories, but it's okay about that exercise. Even if one thing that happens, even if the thing doesn't turn out the way you expect it, your attitude changes. Instead of being angry and frustrated, you're in a more positive frame. You're thanking Krishna. You're grateful to Krishna. Your whole attitude changes.
Being grateful, the gratitude
Yeah.
should always be gratitude. Thank you.
Yes. Yes.
Sarah Mangal Prabhu, you have any question?
I just wanted to say that wonderful, wonderful stories you shared, Narayani Prabhu, and the examples you have given. And I'm thinking it like when something happened, our reaction is the first thing. We react in such a way. So is there anything you can also tell us about it, how we can control that? Usually I've been practicing if I react to something happen, my reaction is like, oh God. But I have to stop myself and think about it. So
Yeah.
is practicing is the key, or other examples you can give us?
Yeah, it helps to practice. Like sometimes we get angry with other people because they don't come up to our expectations of what we're expecting them to do. So you need to practice forgiveness every day. So you have to, and then to like, so you get angry, but then you must forgive. But it's better if you can forgive them before you get angry. You stop and think, okay, I forgive this person. And there's exercises. Mahatma gives exercises how to forgive people. Just checking out what's happening. Okay, how to forgive people. And yeah, one exercise he has, you bring the person in front of you, and then you shower them with all good, you see, flowers on them and Krishna's mercy, and then so, and then after a while, you can come to the point where you can forgive them before you get angry. You might get angry, and then you can stop before you actually get angry.
I guess then the thought comes again that Krishna's is in control. We are not in control. So whatever's happening, it's the will of Krishna, and
Yeah.
we accept it. And whatever's happening, we just accept it.
Yeah, you accept it, but at the same time, you have to endeavor.
Mhm.
Just like one devotee asked Prabhupada, should we pray to get a Sankirtan van?
Mhm.
And Srila Prabhupada said, well, your prayer must go along with your endeavor.
Mm.
So there's two things together. You pray and you endeavor at the same time. So you can pray, like we gave a couple of prayers. You can pray to the Lord. And I don't see how this is your mercy, please. show me. Sometimes things happen, and a couple of years later, you say, "Oh yeah, wow, I was saved. Well, that was really good. Krishna did that." You know, we can't appreciate it at the time, uh, but yeah,
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 realization comes afterwards. That's
it,
true.
that usually happens that way. Yeah, I know when my husband left, I was upset, but then a few years later, I understood. Oh, when I was with my husband, he was doing all the preaching. I never did anything. And then after he left, I started writing books and traveling and teaching and everything. After my husband left, I said, okay, now I get it.
Something wonderful came out of it. That's true. Positive attitude.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It came out something wonderful.
Right.
Amazing. Prabhu, this has been just wonderful. And on behalf of the Vaishnava Ministry North America, please accept our heartfelt gratitude for your time, your association, and even though you're not feeling very well, with your call, still appreciated, your deep insights and realizations on Srimad Bhagavatam are truly inspiring, and they're leaving us enriched and uplifted. Your dedication to sharing Krishna consciousness with such clarity and compassion is a gift to all of us. So we sincerely hope you can join us again for another special session in the future. And our gratitude to all of you, dear Vaishnavis, for joining us today. Again, you can visit Prabhu's website at narayanidasi.net, and I want to put it actually at the end of the session for hyperlink, so you can visit her website. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Thank you all.
Thank
It's
you.
been so wonderful having you.